At this point, we would be remiss without talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the flying man himself, chiefly responsible for Gateway Experience, and by extension, any reports or derivative creative works that built upon it, Robert Monroe, better known as Bob to those who knew him best. Bob was the rare individual who naturally went out of body, and he was determined to understand the phenomenon. His willingness to share his experience at a time when it was not at all mainstream, and his discoveries in the form of 3 books, his development of Hemi-Sync, and founding of the institute that bears his name, made a major contribution to the field of human consciousness. Bob possessed some specific traits that made him an excellent explorer of consciousness. I would encourage all of you to consider these in your own journey of discovery and transformation. They are natural curiosity. Curiosity is really the flame for all inner work. A sense of adventure. As a young person, Bob hopped trains and lived as a hobo. Later, he acquired a pilot's license. Persistence and determination. Bob was courageous, which is necessary to explore unknowns in the service of turning them into knowns. He had a willingness to take risk and the ability to manage fear. Bob was born in 1915 and was active and adventuresome from an early age. He was a quick learner. When he started school just before his 5th birthday, he could already read and write. He later entered college just before turning 17. That might have been too early, as he had flunked out of college by the time he was 18. This was during the Depression, and it was around this time that he hopped boxcars for about a year, traveling to new places and interacting with many people from different walks of life. He then returned to college, where he started as pre-med and switched to engineering. When he returned, he studied journalism before graduating with a degree in English. His varied academic background contributed to Bob becoming a polymath, a skill that would serve him well later in life. I hope you'll enjoy this brief biographical video about Bob.
My father was a producer of radio shows in New York. I mean, he produced over 40 radio shows. And he did this in the 40s, late 40s, early 50s. In 1958, he had his first out-of-body experience.
Here I was, lying in bed, waiting for this vibration to stop so I could go to sleep. That's when I found myself bumping against the ceiling.
You know, here's this man that's a very successful businessman with no religious training or spiritual background, and he starts having these out-of-body experiences. And he started questioning, why me? Why is this happening to me? And so he looked to Western science to give him an answer for that. And because he was a producer of radio shows in New York, they were experts in sound.
Bob began to see a connection between sound-induced binaural beats and brainwave states that induce specific states of consciousness. The Hemi-Sync sound patterns appear to create altered states of perception in contrast to the subject's normal waking state of consciousness. Some of the characteristics of these states were so commonly corroborated by his subjects that Bob began to label them Focus 10, Focus 12, Focus 15, and so on. The number assigned to the focus levels in no way indicates that one focus level is superior to another, though it is a common error for people to perceive it that way. In working with the Gateway Experience in-home training series, people learn to differentiate between focus levels and devise ways to make them useful in their own individual lives. Although this is a scientific explanation of the Hemi-Sync technology, Bob himself knew that science alone could not fully explain what the Hemi-Sync experience was all about. And after 50-plus years of developing the technology, Bob still remarked, "The only way to truly know is to find out for yourself."
We have means to let people know they are more than their physical body. And knowing you are more than your physical body is the beginning of knowing that you survived physical death. And knowing that is a tremendous relief.